We are live. I think we're live. It says going live. All right, now it says you're live. Guys, let me know if you guys can hear me. And also, let me know if you can hear system audio. I'm just going to play like a little tone. Tell me if you can hear this. Can you hear that in the background? It's actually, I'll show you what that was that I just played. Let me bring it over to the screen. Has anybody ever seen a snake go up in a tree like this? Let me know if you guys can hear. All good? Thanks, Adam. John Eagle, I'm going to go over your video today. Thanks for posting that. It infuriated me when I watched it. Look at this snake. Have you ever seen a snake go up in a tree like this? Can you imagine trying to escape from that thing going, oh, I'm 50 feet up here in this big tree. There's no way he's coming after me. Yeah, we'll think again. It's got 12.6 million views. When I looked at it yesterday, it had 9.1 million views. That's just a crazy way for a snake to crawl up a tree. But that's not what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about other snakes. And let me just let you know, 6 days ago, now it's almost been a week, 6 days ago, I got a strike on my High Impact Flicks channel, which that's my second strike. I've had at least over 25, 30 strikes on that channel. And so what happens is if you have one strike on your account, you can't upload for 7 days. If you have two strikes, you can't upload for 2 weeks. If you get the third strike, you're pretty much out. And what they gave that strike to me for was promoting violence, which I wasn't doing. I just picked a clip that was on ABC. It's still on ABC. They didn't get a strike. There's no age restriction on that one, but I got a strike. I appealed it. They denied the appeal. So today I get a strike on my Grease Monkey video channel for something that Donald Trump said at a rally in relation to the election. And then I look on Google today and look what's on Google. Look what they're promoting. Apparently this is voter registration day. So it's okay to promote this nonsense right here because Google promotes it. It's okay for mainstream media to promote their misinformation. As a matter of fact, are there any politicians who aren't misinformation machines? That's what a politician is. That's all they spew is misinformation. Politicians are liars, and politics is and always will be the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own enslavement, which is what this is right here. That's what that is. So that happened. I appreciate you guys subscribing to this channel. I appreciate you guys taking the time to subscribe to all my channels. The censorship is truly oppressive. Having to walk on eggshells and dance around things and having to start new channels and go into different platforms is getting a little bit old. And a lot of people go, why are you still on YouTube? Because I have an audience. I'm not going to abandon my audience here on YouTube. I have 560,000 on my High Impact Flicks channel, 47,000 on Grease Monkey videos. And thank you guys for, I think it's like 50-something thousand, 51,000 or something on this channel. So I really appreciate it. But the sad fact is YouTube is the biggest and best, I'm putting that in quotes, video uploading site where you can have access to a large audience. I want access to a large audience. Why? Do I want to be popular? Do I want to make a whole bunch of money? Guys, if I wanted to make a whole bunch of money, I wouldn't be doing this right here. I'd have way different content than this. I'd be in the entertainment field. If you want to make money, do something entertaining and do something that's funny and do something that's clever. But for goodness sakes, you're not going to get super popular by being against tyranny. You're not going to be super popular by, you know what? You know what else makes people popular? Another thing that makes people popular is being a part of the left versus right paradigm life. If I really wanted to be popular, I would just go right, or I could go left. Whether you go left or right, you got the Brian Tyler Cohens, you have the Bill Maher's on the left-hand side, you got the CNNs, they never get strikes. And then you got the far right or, whatever you want to call it, the Ted Cruz's. So, it's kind of like you're constantly dancing because you want to get out the message. And what is that message, Brian? What exactly is the message? I want you to be free. I want me to be free. But guess who doesn't want you to be free? Politicians don't want you to be free. They want to keep reaching their hand deeper in your pocket. They want to put their hands around your neck and take away your freedoms, which we're going to see today. It's truly infuriating. And then when you start a channel on an alternate platform like BitChute or Odyssey, you don't get popular unless you're in the right versus left paradigm lie facade, juggling like clowns under the big top. It's truly, I mean, like, I'm just, it's truly discouraging, and it really, really pisses you off. So before we get started on this video from John Eagle, which I really appreciate him, if you haven't subscribed to John Eagle, he puts up some good content that's really, you know, if you want to take a look at it, you should. But before I do that, I want to play this right here, because this right here highlights the fact of what we always say about being pulled over by cops, especially on the freeway, especially on an interstate system, how dangerous it is, and how not just you, but the cop is putting himself in harm's way when you got vehicles, you know, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 pound objects moving down the road at 70 miles per hour. Watch this.
Close look at this dash cam footage. You can see a truck driver nodding off. Then this. You can see two cars on the side of the road, and
let's just think. Let's just think for a second. Now, this isn't a cop pulling these people over right here, but what you got here is maybe somebody's fixing a tire, maybe their car broke down or whatever. But I always look at it like, you know, this is something that, you know, maybe they had to pull over because their car just wouldn't go any further. But for a cop to pull up behind you and force you over to the shoulder of a road on a major freeway is so freaking, so many bad things could happen. So many things could go wrong. A tire pops. And this truck driver who fell asleep actually said that in the initial report. Oh, a tire must have popped, but he fell asleep. So a truck driver can fall asleep carrying, 30 tons in a trailer behind him. You're going to be decimated, or you're going to have a bad rest of your life. This is what pisses me off about the danger of cops pulling you over, especially on a roadway like this, or any roadway, a blind curve, whatever. A tire could pop, a tie rod blow out, a person fall asleep, a person's got, distracted driving. He's texting his girlfriend or whatever. And just for a moment, he looks down at his phone and weaves over, and then there you are. There the cop is. So this is one of those things. I'm not going to play this whole video. It just highlights and demonstrates the insanity of the requests of tyrants for them to pull us over so that they can do what? So they can keep the public safe, or so they can shake you down. They're not serving and protecting. They're harassing and collecting, and they're putting you in danger the whole time. It's not bad enough that you're in danger, that an armed invader who doesn't care about the Constitution that he swore to uphold, protect, and defend. It's not so much that you're just in danger of that guy. Now you're in danger of being hit by a 30,000 pound bullet. It's just, it's truly infuriating, truly infuriating. So let's get into this video by John Eagle. And before we do, I just want to remind you that we do still have a Fourth Amendment in this country that nobody pays attention to if they're wearing a uniform. What is it? You put on the uniform and you just, the Constitution becomes invisible. The Fourth Amendment becomes nothing. Fourth Amendment, it's the right to be, let's see, I just want to quote the Fourth Amendment here. Where is it? Here we go. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable. Who's going to define that, though? Who's going to define? Well, this is very reasonable. Look, I have a uniform badge, a gun. I come with the authority of the state. What I'm doing is absolutely reasonable, and you're acting awfully suspicious. There's my reasonable, articulable suspicion. Against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. No warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seen. We need to look at, here's a warrant from the judge, which I don't even buy into that right there, because the judges are psychopaths, the cops are psychopaths, the whole system is fashioned against you and me. But, here's the warrant, and here's what the warrant says. Look, I'm limited in scope in this warrant. We just need to look in your trunk on the left side. It says, particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Oh, what things are you trying to seize? Well, we know that you have 10 pounds of in your car, so we're going to go seize that. Really? So if there is no 10 pounds of in my car. Is there any kind of restitution that you're going to pay to me for hindering my right to travel? Oh, no, I didn't think there was, because the system's not for you. It's against you. It's not about public safety. It's about a public shakedown. So John Eagle, the John Eagle channel, and I'll put this in the link in the description when this video gets done rendering. John Eagle, I think he's in the room right now. He was earlier. If you want to put this, I'll just do it. Here you go. It's in the chat right now. Man arrested at illegal checkpoint in Tennessee. Now, I wanted to play this because what's infuriating is that the cops really believe, or they're faking it, but either way, they're the authority on the scene. They're the ones that you can't question. If you try to resist arrest, then you're the criminal, even though they're foisting criminal activity on you. Legality and illegality doesn't matter to me. Are we in Nazi Germany is my question. Have we really gotten to the point where this is not a DUI checkpoint. This is a show us your identification checkpoint. We got to make sure that you have a license to operate your motor vehicle checkpoint is what this is in Tennessee. Let's listen to this. And then I am going to jump in and I'm going to comment. I mean, there are people in the comment section who goes, shut your mouth and just let the video run. I'm not going to do that. This video is for commentary. If you don't like it, I guess go somewhere else. It's unfortunate if you want to do that. If you feel like what I'm saying is not important or it's not germane to this situation right here, I mean, I guess that's one thing. Leave your comments. I always love to hear them. But, here we go.
A driver's license checkpoint. You got your license on you?
Driver's license checkpoint.
A driver's license checkpoint?
Yep. Look how they come up with such arrogance. They're so pompous. Driver's license checkpoint. Show us your papers. What? You got your papers? So this officer is basically coming up. I'm entitled to make you insecure in your person's house's papers and effects, and I give up your papers. I can do things that you can't do. What if you walked up to a cop, and we've seen this before. We've seen James Freeman do it. We've seen CH and Ty Audits do it. They come up to you and say, hey, I need to check your ID. What's the initial response of the cop when you ask them for their ID if they're just sitting in their car? They laugh about it. You know why? Because it's hilarious. For a man to walk up to another man and request that person make themselves insecure in their identity and divulge their identity to somebody that they don't even know is hilarious. So the cops rightly laugh, but you try laughing at a cop when they ask you for your ID. This is why we're always saying, oh, I guess badges and uniforms do grant special rights, because they actually operate like that. They actually think in their minds, I have more rights than you. Give me your ID.
Yes, sir.
Is that legal?
Do you have your driver's license on you?
I prefer not to show it.
Okay, pull over there. Pull right in front of my car.
For what?
To get a citation.
For what?
Now, at this point, you are not free. At this point, you as an American, on American soil, land of the free, home of the brave, are a slave. Right at that point, you try driving off, they will chase you. If they can't catch you, they'll put birds in the air, and they'll put dogs on the ground, and they'll put, tire strips on the ground, and they're going to get you. At this point, you have lost all your freedoms in the minds of those oppressors. If that's not infuriating, I don't know what is. And so that's why I entitled this, Let's Just All Roll Over for Tyranny. It's going to go well for you. Compliance with tyranny never leads to good things. That's why I appreciate this person who's in this vehicle right here, trying to take his property from point A to point B on the public roadways. He's getting interrupted and harassed by these law enforcement agents, and he has the courage to stand up because it's the right thing to do. But guess what? There's a penalty for doing the right thing in America. And that penalty is, well, we're about to take away all your freedoms. If you try to run from us as we conduct our criminal activity, investigative activity, well, you're going down.
Pull right in front
What's
of
the
my car.
citation for?
For not having given me a license.
I don't have to give you a license if I'm not suspected of a crime,
Go ahead and
ma'am.
pull over in front of my car, please.
Am I getting a citation right now?
Yes, sir. Pull in front of my car, please.
Just burns you up to see this, man.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Sergeant Griffin with the Highway Patrol. It's a driver's license checkpoint.
Okay.
So we can see your license with you.
I don't think that's legal, sir.
It is legal, and unfortunately, we're not going to be able to let you drive from here without seeing it.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to let you drive away. Unfortunately, because you didn't reveal your identity to us, we got you. That's right. You thought you were in the good old US of A. You're not. Well, you might be in the USA because that's a corporate entity, but you're not in America anymore. You're not free anymore. We just took away your rights. Yo, you didn't know we could do that. They might as well walk up to the car and go, show me the papers. Give me your papers. It's I don't even know what other word to use than infuriating.
Okay, well, I'm not going to show you any identification, sir. These are illegal.
Okay.
Okay, have it your way.
Stop.
I mean, what does secure mean? What does secure in the Fourth Amendment mean? You have the right to be secure. How can you be secure when somebody's jeopardizing that security by wanting to pry it away from you? You have trying to pry away a right from you, like they have the authority to do that, the legitimate authority.
Just sit tight for me for a second, okay?
Yes, sir.
This guy is going to lose his freedoms temporarily.
Going to give me a citation and not letting me leave from here. Wow.
Sir, I'll be with you just a second, okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
All right. As I had already explained, this is the driver's license checkpoint.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
And we're going to need to see your driver's license to prove that you are a valid operator to operate on the roadways within Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Okay? And unfortunately, unless you show proof that
Is that even true? Is that even true? What about all these Supreme Court cases and lower court cases? They say you have the right. It's an unalienable right that doesn't require licensing, registration, or forced insurances. That's from the Chicago Coach case. That's not what I say. That's what they said. What about that one? So never mind even that you have the right to travel. Don't you have the right to be free? Don't you have the right to conceal your identity? And then when you do, they go, oh, you must have something to hide. Well, yeah, and it's not criminal to hide anything. We all hide things. We all have private lives that we don't want anybody else to see. There's plenty of things to hide. Does that mean you're a criminal? No. What if you hide a gun in a safe? Does that mean you're a criminal? What if you hide money under your mattress? Does that mean you're a criminal? You got plenty of things to hide, and it's not criminal. But they want you to think that you're a criminal because you don't divulge things to them on demand, because you didn't comply with them. See, that's what this really amounts to is, okay, A plus B equals C. A is you didn't comply. B is I'm going to arrest you. C is you're going down because you didn't comply with my arbitrary edict. These people literally think they're God.
have a license, we're not going to be able to let you leave from here.
Okay, well, the Fourth Amendment says I don't have to provide any of that, sir. You took an oath to the Constitution to uphold that Fourth Amendment, did you not?
Exactly.
Sir, I'm not going to...
Sobriety checkpoints are legal in the state of Tennessee. ID checkpoints, they are not legal. You cannot just stop somebody and demand to see their ID under penalty of, prosecution. You can't just sit here and demand to see my ID when you don't suspect me of any crime whatsoever. You can't hold a checkpoint just to sit here and ask people for their identification for no reason whatsoever.
Now, at this point, there's a lot of people in the United States, right here in America, in land of the free, home of the brave, who would say, dude, just give him your ID so you can be on your way. If you've got a license, just go ahead and give it. If you got an ID, just divulge to the officer who you are so you can be on your way. What's the big deal? The big deal is, where does this stop? How did we get here? So it's two questions. It's not just where does this stop in the future? It's just how did we get here in the present? Oh, that's right, because we we abdicated and relinquished and released our rights to would-be authorities in the past. Why do they think they can get away with this? Because so many people have rolled over and complied in the past that that's how we've got here. And don't expect, this is like cancer. It will metastasize. It will get worse and worse and worse. Cancer never gets better. You got to do something to eliminate it. And usually the thing that you do is you have to rip it out. And sometimes good, vital, life-giving tissue goes along with it. It's a painful process. You think it was easy for this guy to stand against these badge tyrants knowing that he could lose all of his freedoms and maybe even lose his life? No, but this is courage. This is how you get it back. This is how you guard with jealous attention the public liberty.
There's no reason for this at all.
Okay. Well, we need to see your driver's license.
Sir, I'm not going to provide you any driver's license.
You understand that we can't let you leave from here without it?
You understand we can't let you leave. Wait a second. What magic is this? What spell are you under? What are you talking about? I'm a man. You're a man. Did I commit a crime? I mean, guys, you can stop a crime in progress. You don't have to be a police officer. If you see, somebody getting mugged, you can step in and save that person. You don't have to have a badge, uniform, and a gun. You can just know that there's a crime in progress. This is wrong, and I'm going to correct it by doing something right. I'm going to take the evildoer down. But these people haven't even seen, these badged, uniformed Tennessee officers have not seen this man commit a crime. They don't suspect that he's going to commit a crime. This man just didn't do what this officer said, or these officers are saying. You failed to comply. Well, that doesn't make you a criminal. What if you fail to comply with an evil order? And this is evil because they're trying to make you insecure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. They're actually tripping over and violating their own oath, which shows you everything you need to know about this. They would rather be the conformists that they shouldn't be than the moralists that they should be.
Well, I mean, that's what would you do if I didn't have a driver's license, sir? Would you let me leave here then and write me a citation?
You'd be taken to jail for driving without a license.
But if I did have a license and didn't have it with me, then what? If I did have a license and didn't have it with me, would you still let me leave?
If we were able to check it and prove it was valid, yes, we would.
Sir, I'm not providing you with any identification today, sir. Not for a driver's license checkpoint.
You understand that you can be taken to jail for that?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay.
If that's what you want to do, I'd be more than happy to have my time in court with both of you guys or whoever here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And the particular reason why you don't want to show your license is what?
The Fourth Amendment, sir.
Fourth Amendment.
Yes, sir. I have the right to travel. I have the right to be secure in my persons and effects. Sir, I'd like to just be on my way, actually. If you're not going to charge me with a crime...
well, here's the deal. If you don't show a license, you will...
Did you hear that? That's why this channel is named Here's the Deal. Because that's what tyrants say right before you lose your freedoms. Well, here's the deal. You got one of two ways this is going to go. It's going to go my way or it's going to go my way. And that's just the way it is.
Okay, then I guess if that's what we have to do here, then that's fine.
Is this your vehicle?
Sir, if I'm under arrest, I'd like to invoke my right to remain silent.
No,
you just said that you were going to arrest me.
I said if you're not going to show a license...
You said you were...
at this point, it would probably be good for him to, hey, go ahead and read my Miranda rights. I want you to read my Miranda rights. If you're going to detain me, if you're going to stop me, if you're going to arrest me, if you're going to harass me, go ahead and read my Miranda rights. Do it. You have the right to remain silent is the first thing that they're going to say. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Hey, I'm just following your directive. You said I had the right to remain silent, so I'm silent. I'm evoking that right. But they don't even care about your right to remain silent if they don't care about your right to be secure in your person.
No, I didn't say you're under arrest, sir.
Okay.
Don't put words in my mouth, please.
So then I'm being detained?
If you do not show... Yes, you are being
For what
detained.
reason?
There is no physical difference between a detention and an arrest. You're under arrest or you're being detained. Same thing. The result is the same. You are not free to leave. You're being arrested. You're being held back, detained, hindered in some way. I hate the way they play word games like this.
Now because you...
For what crime?
You're refusing...
For what crime?
Are you going to let me talk or are you just going to keep talking?
For what crime? Go ahead.
Can I talk? You're refusing to show a driver's license.
Is that a crime?
This is a driver's license check.
No, unless I'm being suspected of a crime, it is not a crime to refuse to show you an ID.
Dana.
So what did they try to do? What did they try to do when they try to treat you as a criminal for not divulging your identity? What are they doing? They're making a fundamental, unalienable right. They're turning that into a crime. To try to secure your person, to try to secure your identity and not divulge your identity is an unalienable right that they are trying to convert into a crime.
Can I have your name and badge number, sir?
You'll have it, sir. Here,
Sorry, and your name, sir?
My name is Sergeant Scott Miller. My badge number is 26 for the Tennessee Highway.
Sergeant Scott Miller, badge number 26 from the Tennessee Highway Patrol.
Patrol. And you, sir?
Sergeant Anthony Griffin.
And your badge number?
Badge number 12.
Thank you.
You want to get?
Do you have a valid license?
Sir, I'd like to invoke my right to remain silent.
I understand.
I understand. I stand under what you just said. No, they don't. No, they don't. Their actions speak louder than words. They're trying to stand over this individual and exert their tyranny over his rights. Yeah, Heather Holt says in the room, they tell us that it is for safety to make sure who they stop at these checkpoints are legal to even drive. That's another reason I started the video with this news article right here where this driver, he's a CDL driver. He has a commercial driver's license. He's falling asleep behind the wheel. That you have a driver's license does not ensure the safety of anybody. There are accidents that happen all the time. Patrol cars, cops who are driving patrol cars are constantly getting into accidents. So not only are they licensed, they're sanctioned by the state. How is you extracting a driver's license from me going to ensure that the general public is safe? It doesn't. It can't. It's all illusory. Just wasting people's time here. Oh, they're about to slap the cuffs on him. Here we go.
You got your vehicle in park?
Yes, sir, I do. All right, sir. Step on out of the vehicle for me. For what reason, sir? Oh, please, don't try to open my door.
Step out of the vehicle, please.
For what reason?
Sir, you're being detained right now.
Uh-huh.
Until you prove that you have a driver's license with you.
Uh-huh.
We're going to detain you. We're going to go back here and we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Step out of the vehicle.
Didn't do anything wrong, wasn't driving erratically, didn't put anybody in danger on the public highway. They have no crime to go on. They're just harassing this guy and telling him he needs to divulge his ID. And because you didn't, we're about to put the cuffs on you and throw you in the back of the car and kidnap you. If that's not psychopathy, there is no such thing as psychopathy. If that's not tyranny, if this isn't power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely, there is no such thing.
Just let you know I do not consent to any searches.
That's fine.
All right. Could you please? Thank you.
You don't have a driver's license on you? Sir, I'd like to about
No, of course. That's why I said that earlier on, John Gordon. He said no license needed to travel in the U.S. Remember, you just did a video on it. Yeah, this is aside from that. This is aside from that. This right here is show me your papers. This right here is Nazi Germany style checkpoint where, hey, we can't let you freely move. Yeah, we know we didn't see you commit a crime. We know that we don't suspect that you're going to commit a crime or that you have committed a crime. We just want you to ID. And if you don't ID, if you don't comply with our edicts, you're going down. This is in addition to, do you really need a license to drive? We already know Chicago coach, and I cited that earlier in this video. We already know that they said it's an unalienable right that does not require licensing, registration, or forced insurances. That's the exact quote from the, from a court case. But this is in addition to that. And I mean, there's so many layers to it. There's that. There's, hey, aren't we Americans on American soil? I know I keep using citizens. You're not a citizen. You're an individual. You're a human being. And the other thing is, do people really have a higher claim over your life and property than you, to the point where they can just stop you for any reason at all and just force you to ID? Really? And I guess the fourth layer would be, if you did this to the cops, they would laugh in your face. I don't need to ID. Wait a second. Actually, you do, because you're a public servant. So what's your name? What's your identity? What's your badge number?
I'm not saying I'm just asking if you have any records or anything.
Do you have any kind of ID? I'm not answering any of these questions, but when it pertains to my identification or driver's license, this whole thing is involved in it.
Go around, put your hands on the side.
It's okay. It's okay. All right, so lean forward at the waistline.
Getting the cuffs on him.
And put your right hand on the back.
Putting the cuffs on. I mean, this is insult to injury. This is insult to injury. The guy's obviously not combative. He's not trying to harm anybody. He's not fleeing, but they're going to put the handcuffs on him anyway.
You got a double lock?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead and step back.
Yes, sir. We're going to go on this side.
Can you drop that link, Heather? It says she says in Tennessee, the failure or refusal to produce or give one's identification is an offense only if the officer intends to either cite or arrest you for a crime or offense. Can you drop the link for that, and I'll pull it up on the screen and we'll take a look at it? I mean, it's still a violation no matter what the laws are, because they can always change these laws and codes and ordinances and requirements in individual states, which, you know, they'll say in the state, well, this trumps constitutional rights. This law that we created right here, they really believe that it trumps constitutional rights, even though on the other side of their neck, they'll say, oh, the supreme law of the land is the Constitution of the United States. Well, which one is it? Is your statute the supreme law of this land, or is the Constitution, specifically in this case, the Fourth Amendment, is that the supreme law of the land? There can't be two supremes, or the word supreme it's useless. Supreme is like top. There is no higher. It's like the pinnacle. You can't go above it. It's supreme. It's over all. So either it's over all or it's not, which means all rules, ordinances, and edicts would be subject to that supreme law.
Alright, I'll see. Watch your head, get in there.
So now he's sitting in the back of the cop car with his phone in I think his phone's probably in his back pocket or something like that, but he's got his hands behind him. There's going to be an interaction here in a second.
The tire off the trailer beyond 1014 with a white female to co-op and equal beginning mileage.
Currently in the back of the cruiser with handcuffed behind my back.
Go ahead. 1322.5.
I agree, Big G Audits. He says nothing is over man. I agree. Nothing is over man and natural law. And it's that natural question that you have to ask yourself. if it's not okay for me to do this to somebody else, how can it possibly be okay for somebody else to do it if they're wearing a costume and stand behind a badge? It's not. It's magic. It's like fiction. You need to stop thinking fiction and start thinking in terms of reality. And let me just say, I'm not giving any kind of legal advice on this. I'm just asking you what you think is wrong, what you think is right. Because if you follow just the golden rule, do to others what you would want done to you, or conversely, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you, then how is this consistent with natural rights? How is this consistent with unalienable rights? How is this consistent with being a good human being? You know, doing this kind of thing, this tyranny, foisting this kind of tyranny on this innocent man. We're talking about an innocent man being hindered by tyrants who are literally foisting criminal activity on the innocent guy while they're calling the innocent guy a criminal. If that's not a mind F for you, I don't know what is.
Careful.
I don't think I could get one on with my hands behind my back anyway.
You don't want them?
Well, I'd like to, but I don't believe I can with my hands behind my back as they are currently.
This guy's being nice. He's being cordial. He's not talking back. He's not being arrogant. He's just standing for his rights. And now he's sitting in the back of a cop car with the handcuffs tied behind his back. I mean, his hands tied behind his back with the handcuffs.
Do you have a driver's license?
What am I being arrested for, sir?
Well, sir, like we told you back there, man, you're being arrested for not showing us a driver's license.
Well, that's you can't arrest me for not showing a driver's license.
Yes, we can, sir.
Well, I thought I was being charged for not having a license.
That's what I just said.
Well, you said not showing it to you. There's a difference between not showing and not having.
That's not what he just said. This guy has no understanding. No understanding of the basic human language because he's so blinded by his authoritarianism that he can't see. He doesn't have common sense.
Well, right now, you're being detained and arrested for not showing us a driver's license and under the suspicion of operating a vehicle without a driver's license.
Okay.
So lean forward.
I can't.
You can't lean back at all.
Sir, look at my hands. You got my hands behind my back like I'm a criminal. I mean, seriously. This is ridiculous. But this is what I'm 6'5", 275 pounds, and you're wanting me to lean forward in the back of this cramped cop car with both my hands behind my back.
Okay. If I put them in front of you, would that be better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, push your knees that way as much as you can. There you go.
Okay.
And just in case somebody might have a question about that Chicago coach ruling, I'm just going to go ahead and put it up on the screen right here. I'll resume this video in a second, but it's very important because this is wrong on so many levels. What's happening to this guy at the hands of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, and that doesn't even include your right, your unalienable right to travel. As a matter of fact, here's Adams versus City of Pocatello. The right to operate a motor vehicle and automobile upon the public streets and highways is not a mere privilege. It is a right of liberty. A right of liberty. Governments don't give you rights. Governments can't legitimately take rights away. Rights are just something you have because you're a human being. So even this court case admits that driving is not a privilege, it's a right. Traveling on the roadways is not a privilege, it's a right. Chicago coach versus City of Chicago. And I know people minimize this, but this is powerful language because it testifies the fact that this is an unalienable right. No state government entity has the power to allow or deny passage on the highways, byways, or waterways, transporting his vehicles and personal property for either recreation or business, but by being subject only to local regulations, i.e. safety, caution, traffic lights, speed limits, etc. Travel, they say, this is the court case, is not a privilege requiring licensing, vehicle registration, or forced insurance. And yet, what do most Americans believe about driving on the public roadways? Oh, before I do that, I have to get a license. I'm required licensing. I'm required to get my vehicle registered. I'm required to buy forced insurance. That doesn't sound like a racket, does it? And there's tons and tons of court cases that testify to the fact that you have in relation to traveling on the highways, byways, and waterways, you have an unalienable right to do that. And nobody's got the right to deter you from it. Those aren't my words.
See if I can. See what you're doing.
97 is 97.
I'm gonna lift this arm up.
And since I am being formally arrested, I do have identification that is in my vehicle.
It's in your car?
Yes, sir.
Man, you could have just shown us that.
Well, sir, it's my Fourth Amendment. Sometimes people are worth standing up for more things than others.
I understand. Okay, now bring your arm.
Yeah, because it's worth standing up for rights, even if it's uncomfortable, even if you're going to harass me, even if you're going to take me to jail and take away 100% of my freedoms. It's worth fighting for liberty. If you don't have liberty, you got nothing. There's not going to be any barrier between you and the psychopaths who wear uniforms and the psychopaths in Washington's District of Criminals and the psychopaths on mainstream media if they start going, yeah, you can go around anywhere, anytime, for any reason, asking people for their ID. Where does it stop? It doesn't. You're going to expect cancer to obey you if you find out, if you go to the doctor, they go, oh man, we hate to tell you, you got some serious cancer growing. Are you going to go, hey, cancer, stop growing? You think it's going to obey you? No, that's not how tyranny works either. It's cancerous. It's malignant. It's not benign.
Let me double lock that one so it won't cinch down. Only moves one way and it gets tighter.
Can I get 27 by name and date of birth, please?
Alright. Is that one good there?
Yeah, that's good enough. And the seatbelt. Where's the seatbelt?
Should be right there.
And then people might stop at this point and go, well, see how nice the officer was? He took the handcuffs from behind his back and cuffed him in front. See how nice he is? See how nice the carjacker was to you? See how nice the kidnapper was to you? Do you think society would actually say, well, that guy, at least the guy who kidnapped you and took away 100% of your freedoms and threw you into his basement for the last 20 years, at least he was nice to you. At least he gave you food and water. That's insane to me. Wait, I just noticed this is Eagleville, Tennessee. Isn't Eagleville, Tennessee right down the road from Murfreesboro? I went to college in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Get it.
GPS signal lost.
All right, so this says Tennessee State Constitution, Article 1, Section 7, that the people shall be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and possessions. Sounds like the Fourth Amendment to me. Why do you need this when you got the Fourth Amendment? From unreasonable searches and seizures, and that general warrants whereby an officer may be commanded to search suspected places without evidence of the fact committed, or to seize any person or persons not named whose offenses are not particularly described and supported by evidence, are dangerous to liberty and ought not be granted. Which is exactly what we saw. Something that's dangerous to liberty and ought not be granted. Candidate for Murfreesboro City Council, Axel David, sent this email to the Tennessee Highway Patrol after the driver's license checkpoint on March 21st, 2014, which we just saw. According to legal counsel, THP must prove that checkpoints can only be carried out if they can prove a safety impact. At last week's checkpoint, which is what we just saw, troopers were only looking at information on the driver's license and not running them. What statistics does THP, that's Tennessee Highway Patrol, have to show that drivers carrying an expired driver's license are a threat to public safety? I would say that's a good question. How is this person a threat to public safety because he failed to produce the license that you required that he produce? And why are you requiring him to produce that license? Did he do something wrong? Did he commit an infraction? Did he run a stop sign? Was he putting people on the street in danger? In the state of Tennessee versus Hicks decision, the Tennessee Supreme Court ruled that driver's license checkpoints are unconstitutional as they are operated contrary to Article 1, Section 7 of the Tennessee State Constitution, which we just read. In the state of Delaware versus Prowse, In that decision, the United States Supreme Court ruled that stopping an automobile for the purpose of checking for a driver's license was unconstitutional, as this action is contrary to the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. What legal basis does THP have to continue to operate driver's license checkpoints? Aside from the fact that it's unconstitutional, it's inhumane. It's something that none of these officers would want done to them. Period. End of story. You don't need religious manuscripts. You don't need a state constitution or a federal constitution. All you have to know is, hey, why are you stopping this guy? You're a human being and this guy's a human being. What gives you the right to pull this guy over and hinder him in any way? Oh, that's right. You don't have that right. Right, you don't have rights because we have a constitution, guys. You don't have unalienable, fundamental, essential rights because of a constitution or because of what a Supreme Court says or because of what politicians scribble on fancy pieces of paper. You have rights because you're a human being. And until we get back to that point where human beings treat other human beings like human beings and stop tripping on their own power and getting drunk on their own authority, we can't change as a nation. This city on a hill that's supposed to illuminate, and give a good example of liberty for all nations is pretty much extinguished. And how you get it back is you be courageous like this guy and don't just give up your rights. I know it's uncomfortable. I know it's going to cost you. I know it's offensive to officers. I know they could go ballistic on you and break your windshield or break your side window and reach in and open your door and drag you out by the hair. I know. So you got to pick your battles wisely. I mean, I'm not telling anybody what to do here, but isn't it about time we stand for our rights? Isn't it about time we get sick of this nonsense and really start forming, groups of people in our community where we're, it's like, hey, what are you for? I'm for rights. I'm for liberties. I have children. I don't want them to grow up in a world of tyranny. What is this? North Korea? China? You want China? You want the social credit score system is coming. It's already here. They just have to implement it and legalize it and codify it and make sure laws are written for it. The Great Reset is not coming. It's here. It's just a matter of when it's going to get into full swing and how many people are actually going to take it. Great Reset, Fourth Industrial Revolution. You'll own nothing and be happy. Psychopaths are going to sit in their ivory towers. While you own nothing, they'll own everything. There's always a trade-off. So I'm not, this video is not me telling anybody what to do when you confront these. You have to follow your own inner guide. But when you're confronted by these people, what do you think we should do in the spirit of liberty? Look at these guys. They don't care about you. They don't even care about themselves or their own family. They're violating their rights as they violate your rights. And when you stand for your rights, you're actually standing for these psychos' rights too. When you say, no, I'm not going to give you my ID because I'm going to be secure in my person's house of papers and effects, you're actually speaking on behalf of their family members that they love, if they even have the capacity to love. That's the irony about this whole thing. When you stand for your rights, you're even standing for the rights of people who are trying to take your rights away. Is that crazy? That's crazy. This is one of those videos where it's like I had to go live with it. I want to talk to you guys about it. I want to express to you what's on my heart. I don't give a damn about Supreme Court cases, lower court cases, what constitutions say, what power tripping authoritarians say is legal or illegal. What's right is doing what is right. And it will always be wrong to do the wrong thing. And it will always be right to come against the wrong thing and the people who are doing wrong. Unbelievable that people can't get this basic tenet of humanity down. Somehow people go rogue and psycho when they put on that uniform and they no longer are they a human being with rational thought. They're stuck, they're cemented, they're cured in cognitive dissonance, where they're holding these two contradictory ideas at the same time. It's like, no, I'll take this person's freedom away, although I wouldn't want my freedoms taken away. That's cognitive dissonance. And I think that sometimes these authoritarian power trippers get to the point where they've seared their consciences so much that they don't have the capacity, because you can see some of these videos where they flip out over nothing. They want to put their hands on somebody. They want to economically terrorize somebody. They want to see somebody shaking in their shoes. And then they want to go, well, sir, I see your hands are shaking. There must be drugs in the vehicle. Of course I'm shaking. My entire vehicle and my family is surrounded by men with guns who have itchy trigger fingers and their beads of sweat are forming on their foreheads because they're just chomping at the bit to put a slug in me. Of course I'm shaking. Of course my voice is quivering. Of course my eyes are glassy. I mean, this is a serious situation. Of course there's sweat beading on my forehead as well. I don't want my family to die. I don't want my kid to get shot because one of your officers thought that he saw somebody with a firearm and he feared for his life. This is serious business. Do me a favor, guys. I'm on such a spider webs. I'm this close from losing all my channels on YouTube. Subscribe to all my alternate channels. I have them in the description under High Impact Flicks, Grease Monkey videos, and this one right here. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, subscribe to it. Do me a favor, share this video with everybody you know. Visit John Eagle. He's got a good channel over there. He's got 8.64 thousand subscribers. There's 500 people in the room right now. Let's see if we can get him, 500 more subscribers today, so he can, encourage him to put out more content. It's just this kind of stuff has got to end, and it doesn't end unless we come together and we're resolute on just a couple of things that I think we can all agree on. Nobody has a higher claim over your life and property than you. It's never right to initiate unjust force and violence on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong, like these officers did to that guy who's in this vehicle. And the golden rule: do to others what you would want done to you. Don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. Pretty simple. I think we can all agree on those three things. We can all agree. And if we can all agree on that, then we build out from there. And it's like, oh, we can't accept that. We can't accept give me your ID checkpoint. This isn't Nazi Germany. We're not going to divulge our papers. We are going to stand for our rights because it's worth it. The price of freedom is and always will be eternal vigilance. And indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. That's where I want to be. You know why I want to be there? Because I want to be free, and I want my family to be free, and I want your family to be free, and I want these Tennessee Highway Patrol loved ones to be free. And because that's right. It's right. Is it going to be comfortable? No. Is it going to be difficult? Probably, yeah. It's probably going to get more difficult. I like how Paul Enslaved comes at it. It's like he dons this mantle of, hey, I'm just let's take this. Let's step back. I'm a human being. You're a human being. I've done nothing wrong. You don't suspect me of committing a crime. Let's just start from there and let's have a conversation. Is what you're doing right? I mean, is this the country you want your children to live in? Bring them back into humanity. Even if you've got I don't know how to bring somebody like this back to humanity. I don't know how to do it. I'm not as adept at doing that kind of stuff as, somebody like Paul Enslaved. There's another guy who was, I can't remember who it was, but he was constantly, he was a little bit more like forceful than Paul Enslaved. But he still got his point across. And when he went, it was like border checkpoints 50 miles inland. So it wasn't really a border checkpoint, but they were calling it a border checkpoint. But this guy was standing his ground going, no. Did I somehow slip off into Mexico or something, or am I in America? And the cop goes, no, you're in America. It's like, okay, then if I'm in America, this is the land of the free, home of the brave, and the supreme law of the land is the Constitution, which you swore to protect, defend, and uphold. And they let him go because he held their feet to the fire on that. Yeah, sheeple gonna sheeple. I know. Deadbeat says they cuffed me without question or any tests or even saying anything. Released the next day. Can you imagine going to prison, being thrown into a rape cage with other people who are probably really criminals, and then something bad happens? You hear stories about that all the time. Think about Schaefer Cox. He literally committed no crime, and now he's in a CMU in Terre Haute, Indiana, which is called a communications management unit, which is a maximum security cell for the most hardened criminals, and he didn't even do anything wrong except, expose corrupt people in his neck of the woods in Alaska. And he's still in there. He's been in there for almost 10 years, a whole decade, serving a 26-year sentence or a 28-year sentence. For having done nothing wrong, for having harmed no one, for having stolen nothing. Land of the free, home of the brave. And then you got presidents like Donald Trump who's not willing to pardon people like Schaefer Cox and Daniel Winehouse. Oh my goodness. Anyway, okay, so that's it. Please share this video if you enjoy this. If you enjoy these videos, if you get something out of, actually, this isn't an enjoyable video, but if you get something out of it, hit the like button before you leave. I don't even know how many. There's 372 likes. Let's see if we can get up to 450 likes before the end of this video. It really helps a lot. And what really helps is if you share this video with everybody you know. If what I said resonates with you, if it's in accordance with individual liberties, if it's in accordance with unalienable rights, if it's in accordance with an intolerance to tyranny, share this video. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys in the next live stream. Take care. Thanks for all your support.